the relics of man's past. Abandoned and crumbling churches, the decaying profile of a castle. They add a sad beauty to a landscape. By day, they comfort us with the knowledge that this land has a history. But at night, when our superstitions are so much closer to the surface, they uncover our primitive fears. On the night of Friday, September the 13th, 1963, something strange happened in this place, the ruined keep of Castle Rising between King's Lynn and Sandringham. At dawn, a workman unlocking the door of the 800-year-old keep found this. 2 human effigies, the top one male, the bottom one female, and between them a soot-blackened sheep's heart, pierced by 13 hawthorn twigs. And on the ground nearby, 2 symbols drawn in soot. 4 months later, at the crumbling church of St. James at Borsey, about 3 miles south of Castle Rising, 2 King's Lynn schoolboys found this. Again, the sheep's heart pierced by hawthorn twigs, but this time no effigies. Instead, on the ground in the center of the bell tower, a black circle with a black candle at its center. Here, just a few days ago, more symbols were found in another ruined church, Babingley Church, just a mile north of Castle Rising. An 11-year-old boy who had been fishing in the river came to explore the ruins of this church. Once the center of a thriving village, a village that was probably wiped out by the plague or by malaria, the scourge of the fens. And in the bell tower, he found this. A wax female effigy, again with a thorn through its heart. Above it, a solitary black candle. And on the ground beneath, the now familiar sheep's heart. 3 occurrences in 5 months. The work of a practical joker, a crank, or someone dabbling in black magic. And black magic is, after all, only the church ritual of the pre-Christian religion, the religion of Pan. This ritual can be used, as Christians use prayer, to invoke happiness, and then it's white magic. Or it can be used for evil purposes, as Christians use curses, and then it's black magic. But white or black, it's rooted in paganism. And these days, 1500 years after Christianity was really established in Britain, one doesn't expect to find anyone taking paganism seriously enough to go to the trouble of practicing its ritual in a spot like this. And yet, this is Norfolk, and a part of Norfolk that remained inaccessible and cut off from England by the swamps and marshes of the fens. Even in this century, fenland villages remained which were totally enclosed communities, where traces of pagan superstition and ritual were preserved. The writer, F.R. Buckley, has made a special study of the subject. Do you think that this is the work of a practical joker, even if rather a macabre practical joker, of some crank or of somebody who really believes in black magic?
No, I rule out the practical joker, absolutely. You see, in the first place, the practical joker wants to see the result of his practical joke. He wants it before the public. Now, all these manifestations have been in very retired places. They were only discovered by chance. In the second place, the chap who did it, or the woman who did it, which I rather think, knows the symbols. In the third place, the whole thing, in my view, works up into a perfectly logical story. One manifestation follows the other. And then, of course, of the 2 areas in England where I would expect this kind of thing to happen, the Cotswold is one, but this, even more, is another, because through the ages, Norfolk has been riddled with witchcraft. Well, here you see we have the symbols, a male symbol and a female symbol, They're done in soot here. They should be in the ashes of the witch's fire. We'll come back to them in a minute. But this, the castle door, was the display they had on here. This was the important thing. If you wouldn't mind holding that for a minute. Now, the setup was this. You had here the male figure, there, with a hawthorn spike through his heart. Here you had the sheep's heart with 13 hawthorn twigs driven through it. Mm-hmm. And here you have the female figure also pierced through the heart with hawthorn twigs. Now, this, in my view, amounts to a public statement of the case. The castle door is the most public place. It's the center of the district, you see. We have here this female figure, the heart and male, all pierced, and this, I think, amounts to this. This man and this woman, I allude to them as the man and the mistress, are having an affair. And the girl in the case doesn't like it.
The girl who put them here?
The girl who put them here, yes. And she wishes to break up this affair, and she's trying to do it by witchcraft. I should imagine she's a woman probably in her 20s, and possibly being advised to this course of action by an older woman who inherits an old tradition from some village in the fens, you see. This wishes that pain shall come to his heart, pain shall come to her heart, and that pain has come to the heart of the postulant, that is to say, of the girl. These things were put up here at the waning of the moon. That means that the affair, as the moon wanes, so will the affair wane, she hopes. Mm. And the position of this heart juxtaposed to the female figure, in my view always, means that she blames this affair on the mistress in the case, who is quite possibly, I should think, an older woman. And you have there the statement of the case, the protest, in other words, which is here publicly made.
Made on the castle, did she expect it to be a spell on the man and the mistress?
Yes, that's the idea. She's trying to bring out a breakup of the love affair and the transference, she hopes, of the man's affections to her. I should imagine that he is a younger man of her own age who has probably been seduced by an older married woman. It isn't the first time that's happened. Now, this circle here, the female symbol, you see, has in it a couple of teeth. Now, I don't know what teeth they are, but to me they appear like the teeth of a predatory animal, such as a tiger. She might have got them off an old tiger rug or something, I have no idea. And
what do they mean?
The symbol simply is that she hopes the teeth of remorse will tear at the heart of her rival, you see. And in both, you notice how the venom is concentrated here on the woman, and there always on the woman.
And on her heart.
On her heart. It's always attacking the female. That's why I think it's a jealous woman. Now, the second manifestation took place in this ruined church here at Borsey, which is an absolutely isolated situation, about 3 miles from Castle Rising, situated on a little eminence in the middle of ploughed fields, and a very bleak and completely abandoned situation out of all human intercourse, you might put it. Well, now here we have a totally different situation. We have the heart pierced, lacerated and pierced by these hawthorn twigs, nailed to the wall of the central tower. There are no moments at all.
That's the effigies?
That's the effigies. There are no moments. And the only thing there is aside from the heart is this black candle, which was found in a soot circle about 5 feet away, under the exact center of the tower. Now, of course, in my view only, there are many interpretations of this kind of thing, The venom, which was so obvious in the other case, has now evaporated. The girl is saying, "My heart's broken, please send him back to me." This, of course, the candle in the circle, constituting a very well-known sexual symbol in witchcraft, which Dr. Freud has taken over since.
So here she wasn't trying to wish any evil on either the man or his mistress.
No, she was simply praying, in one view of it, that he would come back to her, or in another view of it, she was making an offering in view of the fact that he had come back to her. In any case, a much more cheerful outlook than the other one was. The third incident happened only a week ago here at Babingley Church, about a mile the other side of Castle Rising, and the most desolate spot of all. And, once again, like the first incident, on a waning moon. I don't think that anywhere in England you'd find any place more sinister than this. Ever since I've been down here, I've been expecting something like this to happen. And now, sure enough, it has. You know, any woman who'd come here in the middle of the night at midnight with a waning moon, because she had to have a waning moon for this particular spell, a desolate place like this, well, whatever may be the matter with her, she's certainly got plenty of guts. Now, in this case, as in the others, we had the lacerated heart on the floor there. And here on the wall of the tower, we had this female effigy with a thorn driven through its heart. And on the wall above it, this black candle. Now, that's something I don't like to see at all, because this is an out-and-out death spell. Nothing else to it but that. Whoever's casting the spell or trying to wishes this woman to die. Now, of course, anything I say about the circumstances of the people involved is speculation. Whether the woman has got, the girl has got her man back and wishes to revenge herself on the mistress, or whether the man, after the apparent reconciliation there at Borsey, went back to the mistress and she's trying to kill her, I don't know. But in any case, it's a terrible thing to see, because it means that in this community somewhere, whether it's a young woman, whether it's an older married woman, we have somebody going around with this terrible emotion smoldering in our heart. And it's finally come to this. The flower-crowned religion of Pan has come to this. And, of course, there's one other consideration which I think is bad, and it is that a person who is unbalanced, because anybody who would monkey with this kind of thing is unbalanced, finding that this doesn't do the mistress a pennyworth of harm, which I'm quite sure it won't, might resort to other means.